You are all that matters. You are all that matters. I'll make room for two. You and I, Jesus. You are all that matters. You are all that matters. Oh, oh. You are all that matters. Oh, oh. You are all that matters. Help me to know you, Lord. Help me to love you, because you are all that matters. Oh, 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 you are all that matters. 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 I wouldn't trade you for silver or gold. You are all that matters. I wouldn't trade you for riches untold, oh God. You are all that matters. Oh, you are all that matters. According to your knowledge and your will for me, what you have said, I just need to align. Because you are not a man that changes your mind. Those that know you will trust in you, not in horses and chariots. By the arm of flesh, no man can prevail. No man, no man, no man, no man. My confidence is in you. What is hard? What is hard for you? It can never exist, Lord. You do not lie, you do not fail. What is hard for you to do? It doesn't exist, oh. It can never, never exist, oh. You do not lie, you do not fail. What is hard for you to do? It doesn't exist, oh. It can never, never exist. You do not lie, you do not fail. What is hard for you to do? It doesn't exist, oh. It can never, never exist, oh. You do not lie, you do not fail. What is hard for you? It doesn't exist, oh. Never, never exist, oh. You do not lie, do not fail. What is hard? 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 What is hard for you to do? Yeah, it doesn't exist, oh. You do not lie, you do not fail. What is hard? It doesn't
Ohima Chrome Mitra UK. And now says who saw Italy. Now person do no free or echo a year Europe, baby Pia. Ena Trumika, the funny in our bedtime, Ebenezer door to door. Say who Italy for ring lines 343270948 and I say 3273308 say oh you can swap for a number 07848420412 Ebenezer door to door yet that was it.
Better for you, much more than you can think that he will ever do. He can do it.
I bring you greetings from the Inside Studios, and you are watching The Virtuous Woman. Today, we get to talk about stages in marriage. And before that, I would like to say that a very big thank you to each and every one of you who always make time with us to learn, to unlearn, and to relearn. By the grace of God, today I'm not here alone. And you might already know that when I am with my head, the oil over my head, then it means we are talking about marriage. And so I am Susie Usikeni Georges, and I'm here with
the husband of Susie Usikeni Georges.
I'm here with the CEO of the Inside Studios, and as I said, we are talking about marriage. And you know that when we talk about marriage, we always say that we always theme it as marriage made easy. As Christians, we believe that with the help of God, our marriages will be made easy. That is what we do on the Marriage Made Easy sessions. And today, to help us do this, is a great man that we have. I have met recently, but my husband has met him for a very long time. We will give him the chance to tell us a bit about himself, so that for everyone out there who doesn't know him will know him. And if you already know him, but it's been a long time, you also have an update of how far or where he has been. Have an update of him for you to know him better. Yes. And so I don't know, Mr. Skin, do you have anything to say?
I mean that is what talking about. The man, as you can see in the short, is not an ordinary man. I mean, it's such an honor and a privilege to us to hold such a man who's very studious and knowledge. Of course, when the last time I remember him, maybe like I'm not sure how long actually. I think maybe more than we were attached.
Yes.
Okay, so maybe like let's say 5-6 years ago, when he was hosted by our woman of God, Evangelist Betty, woman of God, I salute you, in Action Chapel International in Flero, I salute you, Bishop Klaus, I salute you too. Such an honor, and I mean, had the privilege that day, mounting the pulpit and teaching, I mean, sharing truths which are so practical to human life. And let me show you, one thing that is so true in life, you always need to know to be able to make informed decisions. And that is why we don't take knowledge for granted at all. The greatest weapon you need may not be the axe or the pistol. The greatest weapon is knowledge. Because if you have the axe or the pistol and you don't have knowledge, they use it, it will destroy you. Even though it's a good tool, not knowing can cause you more harm. And today, I don't think I have all the words to explain this. I want the man of God to introduce himself to us, so that you know who he is, how far he has abdomen for pressure is not new to us. Just that we need to see the man and know how far he has grown and upgraded himself. Papi, with all glory to God and honor to the Most High, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome our honorable counselor, REV.ALEX Boafo. Papi, please welcome.
Thank you. Inside Studios. I'm very excited to be with you also. And it's a great honor to be with you on this platform. This is my first time. I thank God for the opportunity, because with technology available, I'm very, very excited to see a young couple like you doing such a great job on this platform. This way, or this model, you have no limits. There are no boundaries, and you can reach the ends of the earth. And I know the Lord will help you to bring your vision to pass.
Amen.
I'm America J. Boafo, and I'm no new person in Russia. Everybody who has lived in Russia for the past 30 years know me. I came here as a young man, and I've been a member of most of the churches in Russia, and I've also been a pioneer in establishing this church called Pilgrim. And in the course of time, I was also eager to know exactly what God wants me to do in the kingdom. And so I started asking God questions, that is it all about church, going to church on Sunday and going to work and come home and that? And the Lord spoke to me and said that some of you have to go to school and educate yourself. So this voice came directly to me. I pondered over it, and it was not easy working in Europe and studying at the same time. We all know that the language is quite foreign to us, very difficult to integrate. If you have educated yourself a little in Ghana, after the high school, in our time we call it sixth form, and coming to Italy and educating yourself in the higher education here is quite difficult. So I had to look beyond our frontiers here to educate myself in the US. So when I decided to study, the university accepted me, that Liberty University in Virginia accepted me But I needed to have my high school certificate, which I had. And so we had to do everything from Ghana to the university in the US. And then they gave me they gave me a conditional enrollment after they had received all my high school scripts, and then they gave me unconditional admission. And then they gave me this course. I didn't choose it myself. Somebody asked me, "What do you do?" I said, I'm a church elder, and I feel in my bones that I have to study. And so it's the admission counselor and the admission advisors who advised me to study psychology and Christian counseling. So yeah, so my BSc psychology and Christian counseling, I had it from Liberty University, and then from there I went to Walden to continue with developmental psychology because I wanted to understand children, I wanted to understand women, I wanted to understand men, and then I wanted also to understand human behaviors and human configuration, so spectral configuration. So it was a very broad area of study, and by God's grace, I finished my master's at Walden, and now I'm writing my dissertation on my PhD, still on developmental psychology.
Hey, hey. Should I greet in and out today? I'm not sure exactly where I should start from. I mean, so that we are not doing your PhD.
Yeah, I'm almost through. I'm almost through my dissertation. Yeah.
On psychology and Christian counseling.
Psychology, with the Christian counseling, I had it in my first degree.
Okay.
But with the PhD, developmental psychology, that is, it's quite an intense something. It's dealing with the biology, the behavioral, the social and emotional aspects of human development.
I mean, it's interesting to know that, sincerely, I think it's very easy to learn almost every subject. But when you have to learn a subject about a human being, it's a more complicated thing to look at. I mean, what that bothered me is you have like maybe 7 billion people on Earth and everybody is different. And that is what you are thinking about.
Yeah. Very exciting.
Wow. Bless you, sir. Actually, it's an honor for us to host you.
Yeah.
I mean, I will be happy to see as many as you can. Please help share the video. Let it go as far as you can. One thing that we look out for, if possible, are basically young men and young women, those who are ready to marry, those who are already married. Let's see what can we do in this thing called marriage. What stages can we get to? Where are we? If you know where you are, then you know exactly what your struggle should be. You know what will be coming your way, then what you should be doing, so that you can have success, at least in the stage where you are. And that is where we are. And interesting, we don't have somebody telling us his own opinion, because you feel like, I mean, that is very, you used the word I like, you said, the stage of marriage is fluid. This statement was very powerful for me. It's very fluid.
Yeah, it's fluid.
If you log in Google, it will give you 75,000 of them.
Exactly.
But guess what? It's very fluid. And the person who have gone through knows where the boundaries are, at least to help us make informed decisions based on where we are. Bless you, sir.
Bless you, sir. Wow. When I hear people who are advanced in age and they are still accumulating knowledge, I think that puts a lot of pressure on we, the young ones. That if like we are
What am I doing with this my head here? What am I doing with this your head here? Good.
Yeah, let me inject a little something. You see, when you go to the universities in America and then UK, they have something we call adult learning. And research has been conducted again and again and again. And those who learn or study in later years protect their brain from Alzheimer and the dementia, dementia and Alzheimer diseases. And then also they protect their memory. They protect their memory and they protect the short-term and the long-term memories of the brain. And so it's good to study. You know, the brain is made up of 2 hemispheres, that we have the right and the left hemispheres. But now today, with what we are seeing right now with technology, a lot of young men and women are logging on to videos. That is a very good thing because it gives you the visual impression of everything. I would encourage young men and women also to be doing more of reading because you'll be activating the left part of the brain. That is where you have the word processing and the calculus and everything, so that you will not be lagging behind. So I encourage your audience in this area too.
Bless you, sir. I mean, this is so true. I mean, that is why we can be all this and we are not that. So we like balance, because you watch the videos. So one part of the brain is so active, the other part. Oh God, that part is first on church. Another guy on the other side. That we are so strong here, but here we are too weak. Not the devil, just because one part of our brain is well developed. The other side, God, mercy first on church.
Wow.
Bless
Wow.
you. Bless
God
you,
bless
sir.
you, sir. As I said, thank you so much for joining. If you have just joined, you are newly married, you are years in marriage, wherever stage you are, how many years you've been married, please share this video with somebody, because we know it is going to be of a blessing, a great blessing to us all. Yes, as I said, we are talking about stages in marriage. A psychologist said that he has been married 6 times. 6 times, not with different women, but to his same wife. Meaning that there has been lots of transitions in their marriage. And as everyone out there, we know that if you are in a marriage or you are in a relationship, there are a lot in life. There are lots of phases in life. We know that Abraham, the Maslow theory of need talks about the human needs. He talks about physiological needs, safety, sense of belonging. Then he talks about the last part is self-actualization, which means that we go through lots of phases in life, and marriage is no different. If you are in a marriage, we know that when newly, you have lots of butterflies in your stomach, and we will not put everything together.
I know someone that she still have some there, or
yes, I still have some.
God have mercy.
Thank God, if you still have butterflies, in your stomach after years in marriage. Thank God, we are celebrating by the grace of God 10 years in marriage, and we are grateful unto God for how far He's brought us. But together with you, we want to understand which stage we are. What do we need to do in every stage that we are in? And that is why we want to have this chat. And so if it relates to you, as Auntie Fomeka said, let's have this chat. We want it to benefit every one of us. And so that is going to take us through the various stages in marriage and how to navigate through it.
Thank you.
Thank you too.
Madam Susie and Usikeni George. Usikeni George. Thank you so much. You see, marriage is very, very, very complex, and it's serene and holy, and it's very solemn too. God created this institution to advance the human race, and God has made it in such a way that this institution should not be abrogated. In other words, it should not be handled anyhow. This institution must be handled with care. And the world is behaving as if we can handle this institution the way we want it, but it should not be so. What I'm going to discuss with you, in fact, when you Google, you see so many stages because people come in with so many stages. But what I'm going to do with you is a very a valid source, quite academic, proven and empirically proven, and it's 4 stages. It's a 4-stage marriage level, and the first level is mating and marrying. That is when you see a young man or a young lady or a young man sees a young lady, that this kind of attraction, and then they begin to communicate. Some have put it to be the romantic stage. Anything about love and romance is quite fleeting, as we all know. It kills all the neurons of the brain, and you're not able to think. So in our dialect, sometimes when you are hooked up to a lady or a young man, and we begin to make some promises. Sometimes we go beyond our strength and make promises that we cannot fulfill. And that is where I see that love is quite fleeting. It doesn't make our brain work. Meanwhile, it is one of the greatest tools that God uses to bring human beings together and even bring human beings to himself. So love is a very powerful sentiment. So the mating and marriage period is when somebody doesn't even care, leaving the father, the mother. And God knew that this point is very powerful. So God even gave the authorization that man shall leave his family. The lady shall also leave his family. And then the two shall come together. Because of the powerful nature of this force of love, there is this kind of movement from the family base toward a center of attraction. The lady moves towards the man, and the man also moves towards the woman. So there is this kind of reciprocal movement toward a point. That is the first stage. You move. You need to move. So you don't tell me that you are in the first date and you are married and you are still living with your mother and your father. And then you know, in our culture, you know the problems that are associated with that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because that's a violation of the word of God. Although there might be some economic constraints that may force people to live with their parents, but the word of God says that we should move from that location to another location. So the context is very, very important. If you want to have your marriage start on a proper note, you couple is not at this stage. So we will rush, I want to dwell on where you are. Yes, so I'm just giving you the introduction. That is the mating and marriage. That is, you come together and then you begin to do something.
But wait a bit. I know you continue. You know, there is this funny thing my grandfather used to say, and it's not very interesting. He always said this. When I was younger, I didn't fully understand it, but today I think I understand. When I think it's the same line you are speaking on. My grandfather would always say, if a person can't pay for the bride price, he's not ready to marry.
Exactly.
So today that God forgive me, say this public, where I see young men, young ladies who want to get married. Let me help the young man pay my bride price. No. If you can't pay your bride price, he's not ready for marriage.
You are not ready. You are not ready.
And that is the movie stage, because if you can't go the extra mile, pick the bride price, pay the bride price. I'm not sure. If the woman have to pay for the wedding, I don't have problem at all. You can pay for the whole wedding. But to pay for the tradition is supposed to be the man's responsibility. And let me show you. I know this thing I say again, a lot of talk with young men, they get angry with me. They be like, hey, the girl's supposed to bring something. If she has to help with the wedding, if you pay for the wedding, I don't have a problem with that at all.
Okay, let me clarify something here. You see, at the mating and marriage stage, it is not, the moving has got some strings attached to it, and these are the things you are bringing up. You see, that stage, it is not static, like mechanical, like I told you. There are some dynamic task orientations and task activities inside there. Wow. And in legal terms, we call it responsibility, but when we come to psychology, we call it task. Duties and responsibilities. You see, they are there. Making marriage stage, and so you have to work, And that work is bringing, is synergistic. You have to, the two of them will have to bring some energies. But it is the man's responsibility, like you say.
Sure.
Who is that on your money now? Let me show you.
Sure. And then my grandfather will say, talk to your father so that he will reduce the bill for your husband. That's the best we can do. Don't say, what my father will write, we will pay because no.
You need to lobby.
Bring down, so that you'll be able to have. I mean, this is simple because this is a moving stage, and somebody will say the foundation determines the structure.
That is the way you move is going to determine the intensity and the speed.
Thank you. I mean, that's
success in the marriage.
That's a good one. Bless you. Bless you.
Yeah.
Bless you.
So let's leave the first stage. In fact, in the first stage, let me add this. The recognition of the two identities is very important. You have to recognize the two identities. The lady becomes very important. Locating the lady's family, going to the lady's father, and the family group and everything. That is, you are trying to recognize the identity and the man's also identity. So that these two identities come together in a mutual, satisfactory, and affectionate mood. You get me? Yeah. When this thing is satisfied, then you complete the first stage.
Wow.
Yeah, you complete the first stage.
Recognizing two identities, he said.
The two identities in this movement. God recognizes the two identities. So are the family groupings of this world. And this time we don't have any cultural differences.
Thank you.
Now we have the universalism here. Every culture recognizes that.
Thank you.
So it is universal. So the second stage is the early stage, where you have settled into the marriage. You have settled. And then you are relating to one another in the marriage. You are in your married home. But when you go there are certain things you have to do. Sometimes we consider the stage, but that is true. But there are the forces or behaviors, family connections, as you have just gotten married, that is where your brother's daughter will come to. That is where your auntie came to Accra and she came for some funeral and coming to sleep with you. And you see, so many people will come. So as you have settled in the marriage, that is the second stage, the early stage of the marriage. Family groupings are going to visit you. They're going to come to you. Their problems are going to spread all around the family, and you'll be called upon to do something. And this is where we're going to see the two of you, your capacity to relate with other family members. Oh yes, this is a challenge. Yeah. And some people easily collapse at the second stage. They don't progress.
Let's see.
They collapse at the second stage. Some of these people are saying that the whites don't marry that way, but I don't take it because we are not whites. We are blacks and we are in our culture.
Thank you.
We came here and then we saw these people doing that. They're in their apartment, nobody visits them. They go to their family group and eat and then come back. But when you're in a crowd, Marcy or wherever, in the village, some of these people will be coming, and how are you going to relate to them? That is what it is. So the early stage is full of, it's a testing period. When you have settled into the marriage, how you are going to relate to your husband, how you are going to relate to your wife, and then how you are going to relate to your parents. This is a big project for many marriages.
I mean, I mean, what the man of God is saying is so powerful, which I think for a very young couple, that is something you should look at and not take it for granted at all. So You are freshly married. You are now with your husband. You are with your lobby. You are happy to be married. But then tomorrow, your senior show up. The next day, your brother show up. The third day, your aunt show up. The third day, your sister show up, and you are asking yourself, but we are married. And the man of God telling us, we are in African culture. Our culture is this. So get used to our culture. Then ask yourself, what do I do? How many years? As soon as a young couple there, freshly married, then they have these family members looting in and out of their homes. What do they do?
Let me hear you again.
We have a young couple, they freshly married, and then they realize that their family members are used to their home. What advice will you give? What counsel? How should they deal with it?
What advice I would give them is that they'll have to be very resilient. Resiliency means that, okay, whenever you're going to do a project or whenever you're going to embark on a project or an undertaking, you need some 3 elements to put together. That you need a preparation. You need to have the right tools.
Wow.
And then after you have gotten the right tools, you have to get the right skills to apply those tools. Now, this couple that they are married and family members are coming to their home, influx of family members into their home. If those people have the right counseling, because we have premarital counseling, early marriage counseling, and then mid-marriage counseling, and which couples must set aside some little amount of money to be attending to professional counseling, not advice, because the others we call them advice, right? You see, professional counseling, so that you will get the right preparation, the tools and the skills to confront some of these issues. So if they find themselves in the midst of this, then I think I advise them to have the proper counseling tools, the preparation and skills. And if they react to the situation, it may backfire and go against them, because we are social beings, and God Himself is a social being. We are all living in society, and socialization is very important to human development.
Wow, that means we need counseling. I mean,
yeah.
I think this, as simple as it may sound, of course, we are remote Africans. Everything is spiritual and everything is prayer. Everything is the devil, and nobody asks, what should I do? Do I need counseling? Maybe. Don't forget, the more you get overwhelmed, you don't know what to do, seek for counseling. I mean, we actually have one day. He can help you, take you to the stages and keep your marriage still on the rock. Because sometimes this truancy that goes along with that, because don't forget, I'm not saying right, wrong. Somebody will say, is it right? Is it wrong? It's not about right or wrong. That's the culture you are born in. You almost can't take it out of us. And if you say no, the woman will say, I'm not the family member that you are doing that. See, or if the husband says, no, okay, I'm my family, then it becomes a problem. You may be together, but you are not happy. Because I don't like the way you treated my family member. But the man of God told us, if you don't know how, please seek counseling, so that you'll be able to still keep the peace in your home. Because that peace, if you lose it, it will take you a decade to recuperate. That is true. Father, please help us. Thank you.
Yeah, so as we continue, in the early stages, as we were talking about this day, I dropped on socialization. Now there is a new norm that how you are going to fare in this world will determine your network of development. Your network of development. And the family network is so crucial and important that we dare not forsake or violate the principles that support us, the base from where we came from. We dare not violate those values and principles. So we have to try and learn and relearn. I like Madam Susie, he said we're going to learn and relearn, So that is the core issues of counseling. Always we have to learn something. So it's very important. So now I'm coming to where you are as a couple. That is the middle years. The first level is mating and marriage. The second is early years, you just gotten into it. And then the third level is middle years. Middle years is very, very important. It is a time of affirmation and preparation. It is a time of affirmation and preparation. In fact, this model was postulated by Rogers in 1962. And look at from 1962, marriage and family therapy. He proposed these stages in marriage, and counselors have been using this model for so many years, and it is very successful for counselors in applying this model to counsel families. The third stage is very important because of the affirmative and the preparative aspect of it. The preparation, the affirming, is that you have to affirm the integrity of the relationship. The integrity of the relationship. When we say the integrity of the relationship, that is where, in fact, when we meet women, men and women meet, and then especially in our fleeting moments, we talk without our brains, and then we begin to make promises. Some of them cannot be fulfilled. But at the third stage, you have to recycle and go back and see some of the promises you made at the dating and marriage, and even the early stages, and see if some of these promises or goals or these missions and visions have been achieved. Yeah.
Mighty Lord.
This is Aristotle. Now I think it's Socrates. He said that unexamined life is not worth living.
Thank you.
So at the third stage, the middle ages, the middle years of marriage, is a period of re-examination. What couples do is that in their re-examination, they tend to criticize one another. Someone how can we, so can we? That is not it. The two of you must evaluate and affirm the integrity of your relationship. The words you gave, some projects you put in place, if they have been completed or not, the plans you arrayed in your life and decided to pursue. Because if you are able to make this examination, it's going to carry you for the rest of the remaining years. It's going to carry you to. We have the fourth stage. That is where people come to. We call it homeostasis.
Before we talk about the fourth stage,
I'm not talking about it. I'm just making an inference that where you cannot do anything.
Okay.
You don't do anything. You only see the results. You see the results of the re-examination you did at the third stage. And if you examine things well, you affirm things, and because that's why it's affirmation and preparation. Because probably most of the things you have not been able to do because in the early stage, you saw the confusion, you saw the problems you have in the early stages. The intersection of family members here and there, there where you're going to raise children, and then asilo and all those things. Your resources might not be enough, so you'll be having changing jobs here and there. So the early stages is full of shiftings here and there. It takes attention here and there, off. But in the middle ages, where you tend to be stable, and then there you begin to evaluate the integrity and how you're going to prepare for the succeeding years.
That is some people have this notion that the first 7 years of a marriage is very, very difficult. One of the most difficult. So I would like to ask, which, like in a marriage or in all these phases that you have taken us through, which stage is the hardest and which stage is the easiest, and then why?
Okay. All right. In fact, my research didn't mention of years.
Okay, yeah.
Because marriage is very fluid. And human development is also very fluid and not static or mechanical. So there is this kind of recycling. What I spoke about early years, you may even have it, you may experience it on the 10th stage.
Yeah.
Because family members will begin to bring children from the village to come and stay with you in Accra. They will just be coming. They'll come and stay with you even at your 10th stage, the middle years. That is number 3 on a schedule. Somebody might have it immediately at the mating and marriage stage. You get it?
Yeah.
So, they have got the timetable, but then you in the couple must experience this according to your own senses or sensitivity to the events in the marriage.
Sure.
Oh yeah, and when you're able to master one event, it prepares you. That's why it's resiliency. Marriage is full of resilience. It's being resilient because you get the necessary preparation, you get the necessary tools, and then you apply it skillfully. Somebody might marry, might be 2 months old in marriage, 2 months old, and immediately the woman's mother will be there, and she will start giving instructions in the house. Normally, when the woman's mother is giving instructions, it doesn't cost so much than the man's mother coming to give instructions in that. Yes.
But what is it like that? I'm sure they're all women.
I simply don't get it. But with my tacit knowledge, it's not proven in a way. I think somebody will have to research on that. I think the home is for the woman, you see.
Sure.
And her mother, your wife's mother coming there and giving instructions, to my knowledge, with the developmental knowledge that I have, your wife might consider it as a continuation of her training from her own home.
Sure.
It's not proven, but this is my tacit knowledge. You get it?
Sure.
Yeah. But if the man's mother comes there to teach the lady, that might be considered quite intrusive and foreign.
Sure.
She might think that I don't know anything from my home, and then she is coming to teach me or something like that. You understand? So there is a disjunction there, and nobody understands that, but this has been the pattern. So the text, I simply don't know where the greatest task and challenge lies on this 3 levels that I've listed. But I think they begin to fluctuate. They move here and there. And so we must build a skill somewhere and then try to solve the problem. And let me just put this thing across. I think we have to study a lot. And I pray that the young people of this generation will study. they'll give themselves to stay. You know, in psychology or in this famous theory of learning, we have this learning theory by Piaget. He's a French psychologist, Piaget. That is, he has created some formal thoughts. That is where people begin to, young people begin to get knowledge. So we have the pre-operational thought, operational thought, and then the formal thought, and then the post-formal, the formal thought. You see, these are all the cognitive development of children as they grow into adolescent and adulthood. But there is a new learning or school of thought that has come, that the formal operational thought, that is where adolescents are able to calculate mathematics and do proper reasoning and compare things to one another. There's a new thought which is saying that that formal operational, the formal operational thought and the post-formal operational thought are for problem solving, right? But the problem solving doesn't end there. Those who advance over formal operational thought must also seek to problem finding. So if you can solve problem, you should also be able to find problems. So people who are able to find problems can also solve problems. So when you grow above the post-formal thought, you must enter into, when you reach the formal thought, you must reach post-formal thought. That is where you can find problems. You get it? So now a lot of people are not able to find problems, and so they cannot solve problems. So, oh yeah, if you cannot find problems, how do you solve problems? And this thing is very broad, and it affects individuals, couples, communities, societies, nations, and that is it.
I'm not sure whether you pick that up. If you can't find problems, you can't
we should
solve
be
them.
problem finders. We should be problem finders. So that when you created this platform, you realize that there is a problem for young people, right?
Sure.
Exactly. So you have found the problem, and so you have this to reach out for their needs. That this is problem finding, and then when you got a problem finding, now you are solving the problem. We are here talking, and people are listening. You see, so we need to find problems, and once you get into marriage, problems will come here. Problems will be coming here and there, and it is up to you to find problems and to solve them. So if you cannot solve problems, then probably you are not competent in this very institution.
Maybe you are doing
the statistics is about, formerly it was about 50%, but now it's almost about 60% divorce. In the Christian, it's almost about 50% now. But with Christians and non-Christians, it's almost getting to about 70%.
God, man.
Divorce. Because we are not capable. So I'm still on the maybe the information and preparation stage. The context is commitment. After you have affirmed your this thing, you have the affirmation and preparation. You have worked on the integrity of the relationship and preparing for the remaining years. Proverbs says that. Let's see what Proverbs say.
I mean, what are we still looking for?
Proverbs chapter, you can say something, Proverbs chapter 4, verse 25 to 27.
Okay, once we go to Proverbs, let's say a very big thank you to everyone who has joined in. Don't forget, this is the Inside Studios, and here what do? We learn, we study to show ourselves approved. We learn, we unlearn, and we relearn. And so if you are in a marriage, today is Marriage Made Easy. We are talking about the stages, various stages in marriage. And knowledge, they say, is the principal thing. And so we want to acquire knowledge for us to navigate through our Christian marriage with better information, better knowledge, so that it will be well with us. Marriage, they say, it's work. And so we work it. It's not when you want to get into marriage, or the first, let's say, few months in marriage, you still have, as we said from the beginning, you have this butterfly in your stomach, and you think it is what is going to continue for the rest of your life. But at a point in time, you get overwhelmed. You get people, some call it disillusion, some call it disappointment. That is where reality sets in, and you ask yourself, okay, is this what it is all about? We just want you to know that it is normal. You are not the only one going through it. That is why we have called able people around, for us to acquire knowledge, for you to understand that it is normal, that you need to have the right ways for you to be able to navigate through it at every stage that you find yourself in. And so if you want to share with us in the comment section, let us know what stage you are. If you have a question too, you can put it in the comment section. Thanks to everyone who has joined. We see Mr. Roger James Amafio joining. We see also Lady Judith Ekuyatando. Thank you so much. I also saw that Flipper. Thank you so much also for joining. We have Lady Jasmine Amafio. Thank you so much also for joining. Our Lady Gifty Asiedu. Thank you so much, sister, for joining. We are very much grateful for your time here. Okay.
I mean, the last word the man of God ended, he said the call tax is commitment. Commitment. I mean, I'm not sure anybody wants to really get married and then try to go through all these stages without that word. Because I'm not sure. I'm just not sure. Because it's like today I was talking to Apostle Prophet Percy Hagan. Say I salute you, sir. I had the time to talk with him, and that is just one thing we're talking about marriage for young couple. Then he said, it's just what it is. You are given a certificate, so you are told, stay here. You've actually passed, you've graduated, so that is where you are supposed to be. So you better get committed to make sure that this thing don't have a choice, it must work. So you are committed, and it is easier when it's not one person showing commitment, but both of us showing commitment. So I'm committed, my wife is committed. Then it is easier. But not like I'm committed, my wife ain't committed, or my wife is committed, I am not committed. Then there is a trouble because everybody gets offended. I mean, why should I be the one to do all the time and then you, if you go and go, no, I mean, it doesn't work like that. I mean, he said the contact is commitment. So we have 4 stages. The man of God told us the preliminary stage where you meet the person. He called it the moving stage. And he dealt with it very nicely. For the moving stage, we dealt with the initial stage, the beginning stage, where both of you are now married and you are in the home, but you have to deal with one thing. The family members are choking in. They are coming in everywhere. 2 people are trying to stay together. And the funny part of it is that both of you are now trying to get together. You don't even know yourself that much. And these family members keep showing up. I mean,
apart from family members, it is the 2 of you living together. There you are, just as it was said, settled or early stage. You are now settling. You are now beginning to see some of the things that, okay. Now it's
now the okay season.
The okay season.
Where you realize that this my husband. I never knew that when he sleeps he snores. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize that. I just saw it. And when he's snoring, the whole building is shaking.
The whole building is shaking.
What do I do?
That okay, my wife that I might she's disorganized. Oh, okay. But she doesn't know how to cook.
She doesn't know how to cook. Oh, okay. What do I do? I mean, those are like the whole case, man. It's the initial stage.
The shock prices we call it.
The shock prices, cause
begin to receive the shock price.
But interesting, I want to go to that. If you don't know how to handle this okay stage or the shock prices stage, where your wife, she always have to call somebody, mommy, the food I'm cooking, should I put
some salt?
Surprise stage. You have no idea. I mean, oh, you see my prayer time, Shabbat in the church. But you come to a guy, you read his Bible. Okay. So how does he get sermon? If you want to go to that, if you don't know how, you need a counseling. I mean, that is so key, you said it. I was so happy you said it. Don't take it for granted. Don't demonize it. Don't fight your wife. Don't forget, she's your better half now. And you are the better man. You don't have a choice. You've been certified that this thing will work.
It will work.
So
we are not going anywhere.
you committed all the way through to say that this thing will work. And I like that. And if it's difficult, you need counseling. The man will go to that. I like that part of it. Commitment. Like you said, I mean.
Daddy, let me ask this. I think that as a community, let's say an African community, and to be specific, the Christian community, we are putting so much pressure on the church, like they being the ones to give us solution when it comes to marriage. But do you think they should be the only source of our solution in marriages, or we should get to a stage where we can boldly say, okay, I need a counselor to come in to give me this advice or this thing that I need?
Okay, this very issue is very complex, and the world of education is an option that is open to all people, and it is up to the individual to decide for himself if he wants to educate himself on the issue, because there are so many things that we don't understand in this world. The world is a very complex place that we don't understand. In fact, in our population, especially Africans living in the diaspora, we take things to be very simple, and even those in Ghana, we take things to be very simple. And as you said, Mr. George, we said we try to spiritualize everything. I think God has given us one of the easiest and the safest landing where everything is to God. And we even want to let it come down to come and cook and put the food in our mouth. You understand? Yeah, we want that God. I didn't be my wife. So we're sleeping, but life is not like that. Life is not like that. But what scripture propels me to do things is that Paul said that for we are together co-workers with Christ. We work with Christ. We work with Him. So I always pray that, Lord, thank you. Thank you that you've given me the strength and the energy and I work with you. Whatever you give to me, I know you open the door and we are taken. You see, so there is this kind of collaboration. We work together with God. So when we are praying, He sees the prayer that, as for the prayer, immediately I open the door, this guy will go and take it. He knows that you are very active in some of these things. But unfortunately, our people, we always sitting down and we want God to do everything for us. The same is about knowledge acquisition. And it's one of the virtues of life, the virtue of inquisitiveness, the virtue of studiousness, the virtues of he said something. He said, "Ask and it shall be given." It shall be given, right? He said, "Search, you shall find it," and then you knock. and it shall be opened. You see, all these things are virtues, but God put it in His word so that at least it will open, it will give us an insight into knowing certain principles in this life that we can apply so that we can do certain things. But nothing apart from the church is only to preach the gospel. You are to preach the gospel. Preach the gospel of Jesus Christ, that Jesus saves us, He forgives us our sins, and we are His children, and He cares for you, and that, and that, and that. This is the core centrality of the gospel. But if you are having life challenges, and I call it the modern political economy that we find ourselves, where you are paying mortgages, where you are working in a factory and sometimes you lose your job and you go to another job and they give you about 3 months contract and you don't know when the contract is going to be renewed again and all that. You are marrying and all this things. You pray about it and then you move. So it is prayer and movement.
Thank you.
You see? Yeah. So you don't stop until you have achieved what you want to get in this world. In fact, in the stage 3 that I was handling, there is something we call caring. That is where you need to care for one another. In some stages, you see the dominance of love, but that love in this model, they have translated that love into caring. That is, Jesus said that love your neighbor as yourself. Okay, that is the core issue of caring. You see? So you care for the person. So right now, at this stage, you care for the person, stay closer to the person, you care for each other, and then you also show your individual differences. Then you are two identities. You know that the earlier stages we looked at, or the earlier stage, the very early stage we looked at, we saw 2 identities coming together. You know what differences, but when you read the first stage, now you're coming to see those differences very clear. That you see that those differences, and then you see individual goals and objectives, and then you see have you been able to meet this? When you bring those these goals and objectives together, it becomes one. Then that is why the Bible says that, and the two shall become one. It doesn't easily become one. That's why we have this scripture quoted at the day of marriage, but the people will never agree. They never agree. The scripture said that how can 2 work together? So at the 10th stage, that is why you try to reevaluate, affirm. I said I will agree everything you say. And the other person too said, I said that I will agree everything you say. And then we begin to agree. So let's see if the agreement worked. Why didn't it work? Were there some differences? Yes. Then you begin to look at all these things. When you do this, you are caring for one another. Number one, once issue is becoming an issue for you, you understand. Then you care for it. And then also, then you refine your communication systems. Yeah, you refine your communication. Some people start early. By the time they read the second stage, then they begin to read the children's name. Papa. You understand? That is not where you begin to flout your communication skills. You don't do that. You see, that is why you need to refine your communication. Because you have lived with the person for some time, and then love has increased, commitment has increased, your goals have been met together, everything is coming together, and so your communication must be refined. And then also, there is something we call conflict. At this point also there are conflicts. Because here there is so focus on goals and objectives. Because the children are in school. we are building our house in Ghana, we are doing this project, we are doing that project, we are doing that project. And so there are some petty conflicts. And then how do you solve conflicts? And that is where you need to compromise. Do you have something to sacrifice? Do you have something to sacrifice at this moment? Do you have something to let go so that the other one will prevail and the other one will prevail? In the end, all of us will prevail. And then when we're in school, we're doing this mathematics. That's a Venn diagram. The Venn diagram, see the circle will cross here, the circle will cross here. And when the circles cross, all the circles will cross, and then you have the inner core. You get it?
Sure.
Yeah, so that is how it is. So in this compromise, we must come to the center. We must come. When I went to Liberty, because I left high school for a long time, they made me study mathematics. I have to do mathematics, foundational studies from class. Study mathematics seriously. You can even translate developmental mathematics into handling. You understand? Oh yeah. In the same thing, when you look at fractions, you don't have the numerator and the denominator. Sometimes they give you the problem with the denominator bigger than the numerator. You understand? A numerator, a bigger numerator, a smaller denominator carry a bigger numerator. So you have to break it down so that in the end, when you are arriving at your answer, you will see that all the denominators will have the same. You have the same denominators in your calculus. You get it?
Sure.
So when you do these things, and when you are counseling married people, you have to come to a place where you have the same denominators and the numerators for them because they are one.
Thank you. I mean, that's a good
Are you getting the point?
Thank you.
So compromise. That is why you do compromise. Sometimes when you are working, it doesn't click. You see that still the numerator. You have to forge something and create some number and multiply it and offset it and turn it here and there until you come to this is the right conclusion. You see that you are you are solving a problem.
I mean, but wait a minute. I know you have a lot to say. I mean, what you just said right there, compromise is allowed in the home. I mean, it's
compromise. Compromise is very important.
I mean, he said it's allowed.
Compromise.
Somebody that even the learning counseling, that when they are learning counseling, they have to do this mathematics thing. I did a lot of mathematics school, where we have this.
If you take mathematics and you are good in mathematics, then you are good to compromise.
Okay. I think my wife is.
But in the end, you have to reconcile the problem with the answer you get. And so that you are a good problem solver and a good compromise.
You are in your home. You want the peace in the home, so somebody must compromise. At the end of the day,
that is a core issue of the equation.
Thank you. One piece in the home. So compromise is allowed. Now the man of God told him at the beginning, he quoted Socrates. One of the Socrates quote I like, an unexamined life is not worth living.
Unexamined life is not worth living.
So we come to a place where we are examining the home. We are examining the
third stage.
The third stage.
Full of examination.
Full of examination. The one of God told us. So talking about how to deal with your conflict, how to re-evaluate your affirmations and then your preparations, your human development, which is very fluid, supposed to be easy. The man of God told us that you should be able to work on that. There will be conflicts, and then you should be able to work on conflicts. There should be caring, which you use it from the love stage, where this stage, the love is not the butterflies in your bed like you had before. This is love as care. So you are not feeling it, but you are doing it. It's not like you want to. This one is scared. Like, my wife wants it, so facho. Then I come and call you fare, but they go fare. You understand? So we come to that place where it's a compromise, and I like to hear that. Those who are very good at mathematics.
The differences might be there, but they should be compromised.
Like you said. I mean that to me brings home the point very, very well. So nobody is saying anything. If you're in the home and it doesn't go well like you want, be ready to compromise. At the end of the day, it's the peace in the home that is
because then the shape. And then you are working on the objectives. Objective that is going to take you for the rest of your life. Because on that place, the 10th stage, you are on a descent. Who's the people? You are on the plateau. You are on the plateau. You are not going to climb again another mountain. You are on the plateau, and your next move is going to descend onto the fourth stage that I'm not going to talk about. And in your descent, it should be, they are full of conflicts, compromise, bargaining. You have to bargain, you have to compromise, you have to do for it to be conventional.
For it to
Stay
be
in the norm.
conventional.
Yeah, you stay in the norm.
Thank you.
You stay in the norm.
So is there a stage where you can say, okay, now I can take a rest. Now we can. Now we.
No, don't talk about rest here. I mean,
So it's going to be work.
we talk about the work, but the part of it that I'm very much interested in this one is to say you want to have a conventional form, a norm, he said, in the home.
Convention.
So to have that conventional thing,
Non-conventional.
the most important thing is that somebody must compromise. So the numbers may not tally, the denominator may differ from
Numerator.
the numerator. In as much as I say numerator, I mean the bigger number and the small number. So one is big down and one is big up and one is small down. And then you are looking at it, and anyhow you want to use the Pythagoras theory doesn't work, the simultaneous equation doesn't work, algebra doesn't work. The only thing that works is compromise.
Bring the numbers down. So
Bring
that
the numbers
denominator
down.
to be normal.
Thank you. So in a marriage home, compromise is allowed, in as much as it is for the peace of the home.
Listen. If you don't compromise with today's water, then the message, it will go to the wife's mother. And then the man was also talking to the sister, the brother. And you see, and then the man becomes unconventional. Information, top secret information is leaving the family. And if you do that, then you have not refined your conversation. You have not refined your communication, and then you didn't. The conflict resume and assumes decision in the family, and that is all. And the family gets into ruin. You may try to live side by side, but that one generates a lot of problems. Yesterday, I was telling you that a lot of women are living in what we call intimate partner violence, IPA, and they lived in this for a long time. They develop PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. And some of these people, we have many of them in the churches, and if we begin to do worship or somebody begins to pray, many of them will fall because internally they don't have the resource to stand. So they only fall down and they say that, we are anointed. No. Perform with serious problem. Let knowledge inculcate. Let knowledge enter into these people. Teach them how to live. It's good that the Spirit of the Lord is moving, but after all of them have fallen and gone back, he's going to live in the PTSD again. You see that thing. So many people are suffering with depression, schizophrenia, PTSD, but nobody says anything, but they come to the church all the time. You see. So it's time for us to go. We call it idiosyncratic, that is studies. That is individual studies. Go into their personal lives, teach them, correct them, so that they can handle things on their own.
Wow. This is just the breeding grounds. I know the time is already gone. But guess what? If you stay glued to it, I'm sure you'll pick something, a nugget or two, ready to help you to navigate this journey called marriage. It's two people trying to make this. Well, you've already been certified. They said you can make it. So guys, you should be ready to graduate and work along. And how to do is the nugget we just received to be able to make it happen. I like the last part. I want to repeat it. In marriage, compromise is allowed, so that you can have a non-conventional relationship. You have a normal home because the focus is to have peace at home. Because when you don't have it, all the rest doesn't stand. The Bible, this famous adage, when the center cannot hold, things fall apart. And the center is supposed to be the peace that both of you have as a couple. And the man of God has taken us through all the 4 stages. And I like the last part. He said, on the 3rd stage, you are already at the peak. You are about to descend. To descend, you need to be so sure, be so equipped, so together. I'm just imagining when you're about to descend and then we are not together, we are in trouble. And because most of the time when you are people, if you will not understand this much more, say maybe you are on a bicycle or you are on a motor, and then you are descending with somebody and the person is going left while you are going right. The bicycle or the motor has 100% chance of breaking. Like it will fall down because it will be like that. And if not for anything, for the sake of both of you, for the sake of the home, you say we compromise because you want peace at home. Bless you, sir.
Thank you.
I mean, that was powerful. To me, that was very, very powerful. Yeah. I mean, Aguri.
Thank you so much, Daddy. As we said, our time is fast spent. Thank you, our wonderful viewers, for making time with us. We don't take you here for granted. Daddy, thank you also so much. Before we go, we would like you to give us your final words, put everything together, and we call it a day.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, and it has been a privilege for me to share this thing. And my advice is that this platform will become emboldened, increase in strength to disseminate information, to educate Ghanaians, especially abroad, because we see the divorce rate in the diaspora to be very high. So many in the US, UK, and the European continent, we've seen divorce rate and many marital issues happening, but I can see that the progress of human being depends on marriage. Progress depends on marriage. And now we see the wind that is blowing, where people are learning by social learning. There's men working with men, women working with women, and the human race will extinct. And we need to encourage people to be happy with the opposite sex. You understand? With the opposite sex. I've not read so much about LGBTQ that they don't have problems, but I see that in the literature, the problems abound with the bisexual, with the opposite sex. That is male, female, and this is where we have to increase our learning to supporting the youth so that they will be interested in having relationships, and also use this platform to encourage parents to not react negatively towards their children having relationships with the opposite sex. If your daughter is working with a young man, let them come home, try to know the person, know the orientation of the person, the family base and everything, know the person. Because we are human beings and we need to relate. That is why in the end I said that we need to have a conventional marriage. Conventional marriage, it should be conventional, it should be normal. People shouldn't be afraid coming to your home, and our children also should not be afraid going to other people's home. And this is what we can do to bring human beings together, and then also to encourage marital relationships among the youth in our churches, in our groupings, in our schools and communities. So the Lord bless you for this great task, and I know He'll take you far.
Amen. Bless you, sir. I mean, I'm not sure that you picked that one up. I mean, that is something worth noting for us.
Again, parenting, parents, a child to keep, we have. It's been said again and again on this session. As young adults, when your children are just as Daddy has said, don't push them away. It doesn't start in a day, but progressively, it should start from somewhere. We should be able to talk to our children and encourage them, not to push them away, not to like the African way. You don't have to. It's like the no-go area. You don't have to have a relationship with anybody in the opposite sex, but better with the opposite sex than the same sex. So what do we have to do? Just as Daddy has said, we shouldn't push our children away, but have a right way of dealing with them, making them to understand the right timing and what they should do at every point in time. Wow.
Let me read the comment here from my papa. Papi, I salute you. Honor Papa Eric Bendon. Papi is an honor. God bless you. Papi said, so George, I prefer you say compromise is essential. I'm sure you put in the right form for me, for sure, Papi. Compromise is essential. I mean, you have to be married over 20, 25 years to understand that sentence. And when you are a young one, freshly married, you don't really see the importance of this, you know. To you, everything is blue or it's pink or it's violet. But when you marry for some time, realize that there is something called gray. It's not black, it's not white, and it's allowed. So that is a good one. Papi, God bless you. I salute you. I mean, yesterday we had a good time with Prophet Percy at Majestic Hotel and our organizer. Probably that was blessed. God bless you. Thank you. It's such an honor. You finished?
Yes, thank you so much, Daddy, again. Of
Thank
course,
you.
surely you are coming back because we want more. We want more. Thank you so much. So our wonderful viewers, again, we say we thank you for making time with us. It has been the Inside Studios, and as we always say, we unlearn, we learn, we unlearn, and we relearn. We make informed decisions to better our lives as Christians. We study to show ourselves approved. And also on the Inside Studios, we always, and on the virtuals, we always say that be the best you can be and take one day at a time.
I mean, that is so key. But I know one thing that I love to do most of the time. I never love to let a program go like this without making it easy. You see, the man of God was telling us something. When both of you are on the same page, then marriage is easy. When both of you are on the same page. When one is doing this, like you use a compromise, if one person is always compromising, where compromise is very essential. When one person is always doing it, in the local tongue from my grandfather's page, he said, when one holds a lot of pressure for a longer time, it fails because they will not be able to hold it for a longer time. But when two holds it, it's easier. It's because a load shared by two is easier, at least than one holding it. And most of the time, it's easier when both of us are on the same page. What is the page? When both of us are Christians. When none of us know God, we no longer live by, I don't really do what I like. My wife don't do what she like. All of us do what God wants. All of us have a couple that all of us submit to. Then it becomes very, very easier. So my wife don't have to do because she wants to do it. She's doing it because God said she should do it. I don't have to do it because I want to do it. I'm doing it because God said I should do it. So when both of us have that couple, then it's easy for us to have that home that comes along with the man who is the word conventional and normal home. But you know, he can't be your couple except you allow him into the boat. He can't be in charge and decide how the family should be except you make him the head of the home. Would you mind allowing God into your home? Would you mind accepting Jesus as the Lord and personal Savior? Because when He comes in, then both of you submit. I can guarantee He may not take you far as much as you want to go as quick as you desire. But let me shock you. He in the boat, you cannot be sure of everything, but you know that there will be a safe landing. That is guaranteed because with Him, we are the majority, and with Him, all things work together for our good. Because He said, I know the thought I think towards you, they are not thought of evil, but they are good to give you an end full of hope and peace. You can get it because they're in the boat, and He's the couple of the boat. Would you mind accepting the Lord as your personal Savior? If you will, please let's pray together with your heart right on your heart. Say, dear Lord, I thank you for your word. Today, I renounce my sins. I declare your Lordship over my life. Come into my life. Forgive me. Purify me. Wash me clean. Stay with me. Help me to live the life called the Christian life. I thank you for the answered prayer in Jesus' name. Amen. If you pray that prayer, guess what? You are a child of God and you are born again. He just came into your heart. He came into your home. And if you're a couple and you make that decision, it will be an honor to hear from you. I have books, I have plans that I can send to you to make this your walk with God better and never that you can be. Please, I would like to hear from you. And let me not close my eyes to the Papa. We salute you, Papi. More grace, more power, more insight, more revelations. May the Lord enrich you so much that you can always be a blessing when you come online. Folks, so next time, you can help share the video. You can help share the video.
Bye.
Let it go to everywhere you want to go, at least to young couples especially, so that they can build. Because the man of God told us that the betterness of the home determines the betterment of the city, the society. So when the home falls apart, then the city is in trouble. So next time, peace and love to you. Blessings to your soul. Bye for now.